Hi, I'm Peter Matfelt. I own CrossFit China Lake. This is my story of why I opened CrossFit China Lake. The story begins in 2008. I just graduated college. I had already completed 8 years of military service, and I was 28 years old, and I was getting winded at my desk and having some other problems. And so I went and saw the doctor. They ordered a bunch of blood work on me, and when I came back, I was pre-diabetic. I was 240 pounds. I had a 40-inch waist. So there were some serious health consequences, and I was only 28 years old. So me and the doctor came up with a really good plan. Put me on what was known as the Mediterranean diet, and get me back into exercising. So I went down to, at that time we had a global gym here known as Anytime Fitness, and I got a membership there and started working out. Had no idea really what I was doing, had no idea what direction. I fell back on my military training, which was run, push-ups, sit-ups, a lot of body weight movements. Didn't have a really good concept of weightlifting or anything like that. And at the time, in Ridgecrest, you really didn't have a lot of options. You had the base gym you could go work out in, and they had very limited hours. And then you had Anytime Fitness you could go work out in. So I started out running, just running, and eating well, did well, dropped down to 210 pounds, lost 30 pounds, and that's pretty significant. But couldn't break that 210 pound limit. And my brother-in-law was active duty in the military, and they did CrossFit. He was with a recon outfit, and they actually did CrossFit, and told me to look into it. And so I remember the first time I went to the CrossFit.com website, where they had, it was the old website, it doesn't exist anymore, they've modernized it, but it had the workout of the day, and then we had pictures on there, and you'd see people doing iron crosses in the rings, and doing muscle ups and snatches, and a whole different vocabulary that I didn't know anything about. So hemmed and hawed on it. About 2009 started, put up a pull-apart in my garage, and got a box, built a box. I think I have my original box somewhere around here. I actually built it out of like particle board or something. And the great thing about the CrossFit main site was that they had tons of videos that you could watch, and videos of people doing full workout, and videos of people doing clean and jerks and snatches and all kinds of stuff. And I would have my wife actually look at the video with me, and then I would try to duplicate that movement in my garage. And what ended up happening is started getting a lot better at it, started noticing that there's a real need for this here. Like, I'm not the only one that sits here and struggles. Like, there needs to be like the pack mentality of training. And so what I did is I saw that they had an affiliate program. I went and drove down to, at the time there was the only CrossFit affiliate that was anywhere nearby was CrossFit Cal City, and the guy ran that out of his garage. And I went down there, and my very first official CrossFit WOD at an affiliate was Annie, which is 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, double unders and sit-ups, and took me 17 minutes to get through that workout. But brutal workout, my first one, and was just jazzed up. So I applied for my level 1. I went to my level 1, and passed the test. And you have to study this book that's like this thick, and they can test you on anything on it. And then I opened my affiliate. And when we opened our doors, I procured a warehouse. When we opened our doors, all we had was 1 barbell, 2 bumper plates, 2 kettlebells, 2 heavy bags, a couple of tires, and I think that was it. And we got started right off the bat. But before we opened our doors, we actually started in our garage, and for a couple of weeks before we could get things settled up. And we didn't even have a clock. We used an egg timer where we would set for our AMRAP, where you would just set that timer, and you just go until it went ding, and then record your score and record it in a notebook. And so we opened up our affiliate, and we're kind of trying to figure things out. it's 2010. It's 9 years ago, and CrossFit was still, relatively in its infancy. I think there was still less than 10,000 gyms that it even worldwide that it even affiliated, and we started to grow, and we didn't even know what to charge. This business model follows nothing that you've ever seen before, and we kept going and getting after it and learning more, and going off and getting training, and then meeting other people who have done CrossFit and starting to talk to other people, and going back to why I started, when I got out of the military in 2006, 2007, I weighed 165 pounds, and I went up to 240 pounds. So a big metabolic shift right there. And so training, doing CrossFit, getting after it, building a very strong community, having a community of people to work out with, and just constantly experimenting with different lifts and things of that nature, and getting clients in that had a background, that had done powerlifting before, that had done clean and jerk and snatch and Olympic lifts, and some of them had a little bit of a gymnastics background. I learned from them, they learned from me. We just grew together, and we kept moving around building to building, because if you follow the mantra of CrossFit, you grow until you can't occupy that space anymore, and then you move to another place. And highs and lows of CrossFit have been fantastic. We've 9 years still in the game, still changing people, working with people. The biggest change I want to say is the demographic shift from being a 20-year-old rowdy sport to where now it's completely turned the view of health and fitness on its head, and where we now have still young people in their early 20s training, but we also have 65-year-olds that are in here training, and everybody's in here for a different reason. None of us have like high aspirations that we're going to be a paid professional athlete by any means, but what we do look at is what our rewards are that we get from coming in here and training together. And I do a podcast now where I just talk about health and fitness and a lot of misnomers out there, and what I found was CrossFit was the right recipe for me. Swagger in, swagger out, as a guy once put it. But we had this thing right here made up, and that's actually me when I was 28 graduating college. This is my last term in the military, where my BDUs, I couldn't even button the top button on my BDUs. And then we come over here, and as you can see, a massive transformation of my athleticism, what I'm capable of doing, and just basically getting my life back. And so, where we were there, we really didn't focus much on nutrition. We preached the paleo diet and stuff like that. Now we actually have nutrition coaches on board that sit down and work with you on developing your diet and developing, setting goals and getting you to achieve those goals and small measurements to see success. And that's just changed. It's changed my entire life. It's changed hundreds of other people's lives, and the amount of people that we've got to lose weight and be able to go do fun things on the weekend. I took a group from here, and we've done a lot of fun stuff together. One of them was we summited Mount Whitney in one day. That's a 22-mile round trip, tallest mountain in the continental United States, and we went whitewater rafting with. I've met so many great friends and relationships, and just continue to build on that, and hopefully giving people more options in their life or longevity of their life. And that's why I opened my box, and I knew that I cannot be the only one out there, and that's my story. And if you ever want to sit down and just have a conversation about your health and fitness, and somebody who's had to dig himself out of that hole, feel free to message me, and let's set up some time to sit down and just talk. There's no pitch right there. Just let's come up with a plan that'll work for you. All right? You guys have a great day.